All right, hey, what's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Hope that you were good. I'm doing pretty well myself. Let me move down our drawing just a little bit so you can see my face. Welcome. Hope that you're good tonight on this Tuesday evening. Thanks for bearing with us a little bit today. We had to delay an hour for a number of reasons. First, I was supposed to have a lecture tonight for the University of Alabama, but that got canceled due to weather, and so we've been in tornadoes this afternoon, and just came out of our safe hiding spot, and yeah, we did have tide tornado as we call them. So anyway, thanks for bearing with us, and we're going to dive in tonight. As we begin tonight, it feels like it's been forever, y'all. It feels like it has been forever since we last streamed, and I guess it has been. It's been a little over a week and a half, because it was the Thursday before spring break. So if you were on spring break, I hope that you had a good one. Oh, good. I'm glad that you have tornado spaghetti. Wonderful. That's great. Tonight, we're going to have a good time. Tonight is one of my absolute favorite chapters in the entire game. Chapter 9. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup stuff in Chapter 8 really quick. Shouldn't take too terribly long, but then we'll get into what I think is one of the turning points of this entire game. And certainly one of the turning points in the story. And so tonight we're going to be focusing on Noctis, Noctis' journey, Noctis' ascension, and we're going to be looking specifically at his relationship with Luna. After long last, after 12 long years, really, Luna and Noctis are going to meet up in ALTISSIA. And so the question of the wedding, is the wedding happening, is still up in the air, but we're definitely going to see Luna. Just as a way of refreshing all of our memories, jogging our memories, Luna has been serving as the oracle or the prophet to Noctis pretty well. She's been going to various locations. OMG, babe, what if we met at IRL in ALTISSIA? I love that. She's been going and beseeching the gods to form covenants with Noctis, and those covenants can only be formed through trials and the testing of Noctis. And so we've seen her intercede for Noctis with Titan, who tested him in a battle of strength, and kind of determining Noctis' ability to protect the realm. And then we had Rama, who tested Noctis' ability to provide for his people. And now we're going to ALTISSIA, where we're going to meet up with Luna, and we are going to meet the one called the Hydrian. The Hydrian is Leviathan, and we've heard a little bit about Leviathan up to this point. In this chapter, we are going to discover a lot of different things. But I want to begin with one of my favorite passages in 1 Samuel. This is the final speech that Samuel offers, and you're going to hear a speech tonight that I think it holds a lot of parallels with Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 12. So I want to read just a few bits. So if you're in my class, then you might have remembered this passage from our first unit, which was all Bible stuff. But here's what it says. Samuel says to the people, I'm reading starting in 1 Samuel 12, verse 6. It says, verse 6. Then Samuel told the people, "The witness is indeed the Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron and brought your ancestors up from the land of Egypt. So now stand here and I will judge you in the Lord's presence because of all the Lord's righteous acts that he has done for you and your ancestors." And then Samuel tells a history lesson. Here's what it says. When Jacob entered Egypt, the Egyptians oppressed them. So your ancestors cried out to the Lord, and the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought your ancestors out of Egypt and settled them here. But your ancestors forgot the Lord their God, and so he handed them over to Sisera, one of their enemies, and to the Philistines, another set of enemies, and to the Moabite king, all of whom fought against them. And then your ancestors cried out to the Lord and said, "We've sinned because we've abandoned the Lord. We've worshipped other gods. But now deliver us from the power of our enemies, and we'll worship you. So the Lord sent Jerubbaal, Barak, Jephthah, Samson, a bunch of judges, and he delivered you from the power of your enemies on every side, and you lived safe and secure. But when you saw yet another king was coming against you, you said to me, no, there must be a king to rule over us. But the Lord your God was already your king. And so Samuel is kind of indicting the people, saying, you have been a people that has rejected God. God is meant to be your king, and yet you've turned to other gods, and you've asked for a king as well. So now here is the king that you've chosen, the one that you've asked for. Yes, the Lord has put a king over you. If you fear the Lord, worship him, obey him, and not rebel against the Lord's command, and if both you and the king who rules over you will follow the Lord your God, then all will be well. But if you don't obey the Lord and rebel against the Lord's command, then the Lord's power will go against you and your king to destroy you. And Samuel concludes by saying this. So now take a stand. Look at this awesome thing the Lord is doing. Is this not the wheat harvest today, which is a special season of rain? I will call upon the Lord to send thunder and rain. Then you will know, and you will see for yourselves what great evil you've done in the Lord's eyes by asking for a king. And so Samuel called upon the Lord, and God sent thunder and rain, and on that very day it came. Then all the people were in awe of the Lord and of Samuel. And they asked Samuel, please pray for us, your servants, to the Lord your God, so we don't die because we've added to our many sins the evil of asking for a king. And Samuel said, so don't be afraid. Yes, you've done all this evil, but do not turn back from following the Lord. Instead, serve God with all your hearts. Don't turn to idols that can't help you or save you. For the sake of God's reputation, the Lord will not abandon his people, because the Lord has decided to make you his very own people. Okay, so let me stop right there for us. That's a long speech, but I want you to have it in the back of your head today as we're playing through this, okay? So that is a typical prophetic speech, is a speech that includes 3 parts of prophetic speech. If you're in my class, you probably know those parts. But every prophetic speech has 3 parts. The first part is it's the assessment of the current reality, and the second part is either giving hope or a warning about the future, and the third part is some kind of call to action. So in there we see this is how we got to this point, all the kings, and then he gives a warning to if you don't do well, if you don't do right, then you're going to be punished, and if you do, then you're going to be okay. And then finally he calls to action, saying, so go ahead and do it. So with that in our minds, let's go ahead and let's get started with chapter 8. That was a long preface for the start of this this chapter. Now that my introductory comments are over, how are y'all doing tonight? How are you doing tonight? If you're not in my class, then you're getting a little bit of a extra lesson. And if you are, maybe you're taking some notes. I know you've got a big project due Thursday. I know it because I assigned it, so. Doing pretty well. Great to hear, Fitz. Great to hear. Hey, Bricks. I'm glad you were good.
Rise and shine, Prince Charming. We're here.
Aranea!
Sounds like a spot of trouble's popped up at the power plant. Wish I could help, but I'm powerless to do anything I'm not ordered to. I'll leave the keeping of the peace to you.
Of course. We got this.
Good luck, boys.
Aranea, remember, is a mercenary, but we're not really sure whose side she's on. She's helping us right now, though, and we're thankful for it. Ah, Lestalem. Aranea Prompto.
Loving that outfit, Noct.
Why don't you wear one?
Well, that's the only one. And if anyone stands a fighting chance in there, it's you. Forget about fashion and go.
And of course you remember that we had to come back to the power plant
Testing.
to process the
Just
mithril.
wanted to thank you for offering to clear out those demons. That'll give me time to treat this mithril for you. There's a hunter who went in right ahead of you. I imagine there are too many for one to handle. But 2 of you should be fine.
I'm level
And a little
99,
heads up,
Holly.
We're getting some unstable readings from the generators inside.
You don't
Too
even
much
know.
power and the whole place could blow. So be quick.
Will do.
Hello.
So, you my backup?
I thought we were partners.
Anyway, place is crawling with demons.
You sound familiar.
Save the
Because
talk.
he is
We got hunting to
familiar,
do.
Noctis.
Now, if we're done with the introductions, follow me.
Alright, come on, Hunter, that I definitely don't know and have never met before. This place is crawling with demons.
There they are. You ready to rumble?
I am. Let's go. Oh no, what am I doing? I am trying to use Elden Ring controls again, and this is not going well.
Reminds me of the server.
Fancy that. You make a good smoke.
Gotcha.
Red alert, you 2. We're detecting a major power surge. She's gonna blow. Abort the mission and get out of there.
I ain't one of the unfinished business. Can't speak for him, though.
Then allow me. I got this.
How about you prove it?
Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Where's our next fellow? The demons are hiding from me. Okay, they're way over here on the other side. They are running. Okay, I got you.
Had all of them?
That's all of them, buddy.
Nice job. It didn't disappoint.
When have I ever?
Keep it up.
But
Will do.
Mysterious Hunter,
Now,
we've
let's
never
scram.
met you before. There's definitely no way that we've sparred with you before. Oh man. Good job, knocked.
Great work in there. As promised, here's your mithril. And, thank you for your hard work.
Sure.
Hey, big guy!
So the hunter who went on ahead.
The one and only.
What a surprise.
How you been, fellas?
It was Gladio,
bad.
back from his journey to the
Someone
underworld.
did a number on you, though.
You should see the other guy. Anyway, I'm back. And better than ever.
Thanks, Gladio. Alright,
Knocked?
the dumbest
Glady?
surprise ever.
I can't believe it!
Hey. Thanks for looking after her, Dustin.
So, Gladdy, did you apologize to Noct for storming off like that?
He made it up to me in there.
The power plant? Oh, so you got your hands on some mithril. In that case, I'll go deliver it to Sid. You'll probably want to freshen up first anyway.
I
Come
mean,
and meet me
sure.
in Kayam when you're ready.
Girl, we ready now.
Tell Cindy to give me a call.
You'll probably want to freshen up first anyway. Come and meet me in Kayam when you're ready.
We fine, girl. Bye. Ooh. So what did we think of the big reveal that the mysterious hunter we definitely didn't know was Gladio? Were we all very surprised? Nah, we're not talking to that guy. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum. Down the alley, Noctis. Alright, to the regalia. Oh, gosh.
Do you think we could swing by the cup noodle shop for a sec?
I like cup noodles as much as anyone, but I think you might like them a
Yeah.
little too much, big guy.
There's nothing else like them. They're easy to make whenever you've got a craving, and they're delicious to boot. I'll never forget my first time.
Must have been real eye-opening after all the fine dining you did before that.
Let's give the fella some cup noodles. Oh, let's not get stuck on the parking sign though. All right, cup noodles for Gladio, and then we're off to Cape Cayam. Are you kidding
Back
me?
for more?
No.
See you later.
Stop it. Come back. There we go. Well, where'd it go? There it is. Dang it, I cannot. There it is. Hey, Gladdy.
Something dawned on me when I was on my own. Any food you make tastes better when you use good ingredients, right? Then, if you take something already delicious like cup noodles and add in the finest, freshest ingredients, what do you get? The ultimate flavor experience.
The ultimate
So
flavor
I ask you not,
experience.
what's your favorite ingredient?
I mean meat. Protein.
That's what I'm talking about. Minced meat is the key to every perfect cup of noodles.
It's
But
the
why stop
ultimate
there?
flavor
I say we
experience.
outdo the ordinary. Find ourselves some real good meat that'll surpass perfection. All that's left is to make our noodle dream a reality. First up, the ingredients.
Yeah, whatever you say.
You psychopath. What in the world? Gather intel about the area. No, we're not going to do all that, but we are going to support our cup noodles. Okay, to the Mary Kay car. Let's do this. Yes, Cup Noodles did sponsor this game, Bricks. Isn't that insane? So we have an ultimate flavor experience. Alright, let's go. We're not gonna fast travel. We'll go. That way we can listen to them
Ready
chat.
for more?
You bet.
Let's hit it.
Hey, what are you saying about cup noodles, Fitz? People can be jacked and eat cup noodles. No, but if you say ramen or cup noodles, then I definitely get like an extra 50 cents or something like that. Sponsored by Cup Noodles. Not really. We are not sponsored by Cup Noodles, but Final Fantasy 15 was. Also by Audi and ooh, this is a good song. A jam, a bop. Thank you, Bricks. 50 cents. Oh. Oh, this is so pretty. I do forget just how pretty this game is. I love it. Oh, look at that mountainside. Prompto, we're not stopping, bro.
So, Nox, having taken pics of whatever catches my eye,
I don't really care.
what do you want to see?
Let's see more of... Let's see more of you, Prompto. Take selfies, bro.
Why not snap a few shots of yourself for a change?
Like a selfie? I guess I could do that.
I'll tell you this. When I was playing this game for the first time, I'd never had Cup Noodle. But because of this game and a cross promotion where they had like special Noctis cups, I definitely went to Target and bought some Cup Noodles. So I guess their marketing worked. It's a lot better than I thought. I wouldn't call it the ultimate flavor experience, but pretty good. Oh, wait. Hang on a second.
What was that?
My apologies.
Whoa, I did not mean to do that. Iggy.
Ignis,
Can we
pull
park
over
for a second?
Sorry.
There's one thing that I wanted to do.
Nice weather.
I did know that, Fitz. I did know that. Bama told you not to drive, but you want some cup noodles, as we all do.
Time to go.
We're gonna do one quick side quest before we head to ALTISSIA, okay? It'll take just a couple of minutes, but I did want to see it real quick. Is that where we're going? Or is it down here? Yeah, straight ahead. Let's keep going. So every now and then we hit some camping spots with some bonus content, and one such happens right up ahead. You want some noodles? Well, you can always DoorDash. Get cup noodles shipped.
Oh, new faces. And weary ones at that. How's about a room?
How's about a room? Look how much AP I have. My gosh. Okay, nice. Here we go, y'all. This is a great scene.
So, what you doing?
Nothing much. Just chilling.
Ability points.
Cool.
We're going to make small talk.
That was one hell of a day, huh?
Yeah, but it was fun. Every day's fun. Even when we almost get ourselves killed.
True.
I never imagined it'd work out like this. That I'd get to go on an adventure with you guys.
Who would have thought, huh?
So, how long have we been friends now? Let's see, beginning of high school, so that's 5 years?
Yeah, but we've known each other way longer than that. Ever since elementary school, right?
Huh? You still remember that?
Could hardly forget being gawked at.
Well, you know, it isn't exactly easy being in the presence of royalty.
And when we did meet in high school, you pretended it was the first
Right
time.
on.
Yeah.
Jamie,
First
welcome.
time I worked up the nerve to say something. Feels just like yesterday.
You should have said something sooner.
Oh, Noct. You just wouldn't understand. Back then, I was... Actually, never mind.
Come on, Prompto. Let it out, Bubba.
Hey, you can't just stop halfway.
Yeah, I know. I used to be super shy. Couldn't talk to people. No surprises, but I had no friends.
Aww.
At least not real ones. I was always alone. And there were times when I felt, well, worthless.
Aww. We're not gonna tease you.
That's what's been bugging you?
I mean, when you look at me, you wouldn't think that I'm anything but a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky joker. But that isn't the real me. Behind all the quips and laughs, I'm a mess of hang-ups. I've always felt inferior to you guys. I'm not royalty, and I'm not strong. I'm nothing, really. Unlike Gladio, I'm not good with people. The way he connects with them, he's operating on a different level. Unlike Ignis, I'm not smart, and I can't cook to save myself. But when we hang out, it's so much fun.
It's so
I
good.
forget what I'm not. Then reality hits me like a splash of cold water, and I remember that I don't belong. But I want to. Every moment, I'm desperate to earn my place, to prove that I'm good enough.
We are only going to comfort this sweet boy for his
Think what you
vulnerability.
will. But I think you're good enough for me.
So, you really think I'm doing okay?
Yeah, I do. Anything else?
No, nothing at all. I'm sorry I got so real all of a sudden.
You should know better by now. You think I just make time for any old loser?
Huh? Why, you mad, bro?
You mad, bro? Come on.
Seriously, though. Thanks for making time for this loser. Feels good to get that off my chest.
Happy to hear.
All right, I'm gonna keep on keeping on the only way I know how.
Keep on keeping on the only way I know how. Well, thanks, Prompto. Wasn't that sweet? Wasn't that a sweet little side moment? We love that. We love it. Yeah, this is a brotastic journey, but you know what? We have tender moments. All right, to Cape Kayam. Let's go, let's go. Powerful, powerful. Folks, if you are just tuning in, we are finishing up Chapter 8 and about to board the boat to ALTISSIA. Glad that you are here. This is a class at the University of Alabama, and some of my students are in the chat watching and playing through the game for the first time with me. So just as a quick reminder, we're going to pause a couple times to do some quick lecture brief vignettes. And as we are going through, just another quick reminder, please no spoilers for later chapters in the game, or even this chapter, as we get going. But thank you so much for being in here, and let's get on this boat. Chapter 8 is like as long as you want it to be, but we are just going to make it as brief as we need it to be tonight. Except Prompto wants to take some pictures.
Let's get a shot with the lighthouse. Hair blowing in the breeze. We'll be seaside supermodels.
Bro, no.
Not really feeling it.
We about to
Maybe
see my fiance.
I wanted to be a seaside supermodel.
I wanted to be a seaside supermodel too, Prompto. We just had your Tinder moment. Sorry, Bubba. All right, Noct. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, Sid.
Interesting toy you got there.
This? It's just something we picked up after taking out some Imperials.
Well, I'll be Crown City made. If you like, I can make this puppy better. Give it more oomph.
How?
I can mod it for you.
Mod it?
Look, I got diddly squat to do what with Cindy taking care of the garage. If you can find the parts, I can do the work for you.
Oh, Fitz. I'm glad that we solved that mystery. Okay, get on here, bud. Once you depart, you will lose access to the open world for a while, and rental chocobos will automatically return to their post. Let's set sail for ALTISSIA, friends. Let's do it. Oh. Windy day. Waiting for you in ALTISSIA. Thanks, Luna. Be there as fast as I can, girl. Bye, magic dog. Y'all are gonna love ALTISSIA. You're gonna love it. If you've never seen it, it's so cool. Hey, Spyrus! Thank you for the sub. What's up, my dude? Ha! You could be anyone. Jamie from Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Not really. 6 months. Thank you so much for the sub. 6 month streak, man. Way to go. Thank you.
Look, Prince Noctis, even the Marshal came to say goodbye.
The Marshal? We love the Marshal. Thanks, Talcott. Hey, Iris.
I guess it's goodbye for now.
But you'll be in my heart.
Is already waiting below deck. Hopefully, she'll serve you as well across the ocean as she did here. Just don't break her, or Sid'll have your head.
Okay, bye. Oh, wait, anything else?
The regalia is already
Okay, we
waiting
got it.
below deck.
Bye. Oh, what is this? Cosmogony. Or rotted soil or under blighted sky, a dread plague the wicked has wrought. In the light of the god, sword sworn at his side, against the dark the king's battle is fought. From the heavens high to the blessed below shines the beam of a peace long besought. Long live thy line and the stone divine, for the night when all comes to naught. 15:2 of Nadir. The Marshal.
Something I gotta get off my chest.
What's that?
I'm sorry. Sorry I wasn't there for your father. I swore an oath to protect the king, but I wasn't strong enough to uphold it.
Ain't nothing nobody could have done to stop what happened.
Yeah. I realize that.
But you need to realize just what you mean to the boys by your side.
I do.
Even if they can't solve your problems, you can't hide what's going on from them. It hurts like hell. Remember, those ain't your bodyguards. They're your brothers. Trust in them, always.
That's sweet.
You can never have too many tools. Here, learn to wield not only weapons, but magic as well.
Thanks, my dude.
Just remember, it's a destructive force that doesn't discriminate. I suggest putting someone in charge of it.
Ignis. So if you're in my class writing your Crown's Guard paper, that's a great line. These aren't just your bodyguards; they're your brothers. And we'll talk a little bit about that in class on Thursday.
Waiting for an invitation? Get your asses on board.
Thanks, Sid. Tender moment, and now this.
Hey, Your Majesty!
What's up?
Please, come back soon! We need our king!
Yeah. Count on it.
Fail. Quote. End. He sure was. All right, that's the end of Chapter 8, everybody. What happened? A really bad quest with Gladio, and then we hopped on a boat. Y'all, I love this picture so much. If you are just tuning in, this is a picture of Regis. And we see, is my thing on here? No. It's a picture of Regis when he was about Noctis's age and his Crown's Guard, his version of Prompto, Gladio, and Ignis. So on the far left, next to the Regalia, you've got Regis, and then directly to our right there, we've got a young Claris. Young Claris, who was Gladio's dad, obviously Regis's protector. And next to him, we have a young Cid. Cid was Regis's best friend. Cid is his Prompto. And then to the right of Cid, we've got a guy that we haven't met, but we are about to meet. We are about to in ALTISSIA. His name is Wescom. Wescom was kind of the strategist. He was an informant and an intel guy placed in ALTISSIA. So we'll get to see him. And then this is the whole crew. Look at them. Everybody, our friends. Not your bodyguards. They're your brothers. And we got Iris and Talcott. Oh, bye. And Noctis yelling at the cliff. All right. Chapter 9. Y'all are going to love ALTISSIA after this boat ride. It's obviously modeled like Venice, which is kind of cool. Chapter 9, Callings. Noctis receives a warm send-off as he sets sail for ALTISSIA in high spirits. The prince goes forth ostensibly to seek the blessings of the Hydrian, which will enable him to challenge the Empire's might, but his true heart's desire is to find Lunafreya, his betrothed.
The wedding day arrives, but alas, without the bride. Of course, we've come for the Hydrian, and you've gone to such lengths to prepare.
Merely my duty.
Ah, but for an outsider to lead the Imperial army must be a battle in and of itself. You've spoken to Lady Lunafreya.
No.
That obstinate secretary, standing in the way, while you rush off to slay the Hydrian for your poor sister's sake. I know the price of the Covenant.
The price of the Covenant. The open sea. Here's our boys.
I've always wanted to go sailing like this.
Not many opportunities living in Insomnia.
Out here, it's just us and the horizon. It's amazing.
Hmm.
It's life-changing.
We've quite a ways to go until we reach ALTISSIA.
Wow,
so
there's
keep gushing to
volcano.
your heart's content.
When we step off the boat, we'll be in a foreign country.
The anticipation alone is a foreign sensation.
Then to think this is where we were headed to begin with.
We've been through a lot.
And there's still more to come.
So next on the docket is Leviathan.
What sort of deity are we dealing with?
A serpent said to embody the roar and rage of the sea.
We'll have to see for ourselves.
Ah,
Can't
see
let
for
Lady
ourselves.
Lunafreya do all the heavy lifting. You must be so psyched to see her.
Luna?
Yeah.
Well, we need to make sure she's all right before anything else.
Indeed, her well-being is top priority.
Don't like this going down on Imperial turf.
You think Lady Lunafreya's in danger there?
The Empire did invade Lucis for the ring. I have no faith their ruthless ambitions will stop short of harming the Oracle.
Without the ring, the crystal's no more than a rock.
I suppose. Does anyone know how Lady Lunafreya came to have the ring?
It seems likely His Majesty entrusted it to her safekeeping.
You need to watch Kingslave, boys.
So she's held onto it this whole time.
All the way to
ALTISSIA.
The ring is important, and so is Leviathan. But Luna comes first.
You know, I was thinking back to our encounter with Ravus. Do you recall an apparatus in place of his arm?
Yeah, I remember.
Seems he lost his old one in the invasion, but in its place, he seems to have acquired new power.
Power?
That would help explain how a son of Tenebrae suddenly came to command Niflheim's army.
Now that you mention it, his strength did seem sort of supernatural. I just chalked it up to the Oracle lineage.
His ancestry may be part of it, but that alone wouldn't account for his freakish strength.
I wonder what could have happened to him.
There's a disturbing rumor about Lord Ravus has taken to brandishing His Majesty's sword.
My dad's.
Then what's the big idea behind that?
That his power's the same as the power of kings?
I cannot say for sure, but I have my doubts. Ravus wears the sword, yet doesn't wield it.
For all his newfound powers, he's still the Chancellor's lapdog, holding on to the enemy king's sword like some badge of honor.
It might help if we knew what he was after.
Who can say?
What are the odds the Empire will crash the pool party with Leviathan?
Consider it a guarantee. They felled a god to prevent Noct from receiving his blessing. And they'll do so again.
But we beat him to the big guy. Thanks to our friendly guide.
Never know which way that one's gonna move next.
The Chancellor has an agenda all his own.
Sometimes it helps. Like when he called off his army and let us escape.
But he was still a creep about it.
Well, feels like he's only helping us because he wants something. I just don't know what.
Reckon we'll see him again?
Certainly hope not.
Not your type?
No love lost for phonies.
As Gladio said, his actions are motivated not by altruism, but by self-interest. And when he does come to our aid, I see only condescension in his eyes.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Ever think you think too much?
Sometimes, but it's always preferable to the alternative.
So, soon you'll have your old man's ring back.
Yeah, when we arrive in Altissia.
Good thing. To him, it was his heritage.
Is that what my dad said?
Carrying a royal line ain't a task to be taken lightly. For a small thing, that ring can sure weigh heavy. After he became king, I only ever saw his face in the paper.
Wait, weren't you at the coronation?
No, I was long gone from the city.
Must have been invited at least.
Had a falling out of sorts with your old man. Right at the end of the trip.
You did?
I was given to understand you stayed in touch.
We buried the hatchet years later, but never talked face to face again. Should have paid a visit while I had the chance. Well, no use dwelling on it now.
I guess not, Sid.
Got the regalia in the hold, but you're all gonna stay in Altissia for a good while.
The regalia's in the hold?
We believe so.
On this boat?
In that case, I'll tune her up for y'all. Not that I'll have much to do, though. Well, with Cindy looking after the old girl.
If you say she's good, she must be great.
She
Jamie,
was never afraid of hard
bring in the
work.
big questions.
Heaven knows she had a hard childhood.
Hard childhood?
He means her parents.
Lost them both when she was little. Was big enough to understand, though. And to hurt. But you wouldn't guess that, seeing her now.
Not at all. She's always so cheerful.
Well, that ought to tell you how far she's come.
Well, you must have seen your fair share of Altissia by now.
Yeah, only done been the once. Stayed a good while, though.
What's it like?
Big old city.
Big old city.
Okay.
Well, it ain't the crown city.
Different. Got it.
You'll see for yourself. Foreign lands seldom lend themselves to trite explanations.
Change of scenery ought to do you good.
Well, I'm all talked out. Can't be far to Altissia now, right?
Looks to be about
We'll
a
be there
mile
in no
and
time.
almost 2 miles.
Nice having the wind at our backs.
Lodgings are our first order of business.
All work and no play?
Makes Ignis a dull boy.
Someone has to babysit you, too.
You're welcome to sleep in the wild.
Ain't no hotel, but I know a fella has a place.
Hey now.
Wescombe ran with Reggie and me.
Wescombe.
Way back when.
Oh, was he the other one in that photo with the garage?
Yeah, runs himself a diner or a cafe or something.
Like
Go and
Ignis,
see for
with his
yourselves.
recipes.
Sure.
Does the place have a name?
McGee or Magoo or Mago, that's the one.
Nice.
You can count on Old West, but he'll chew your ears off.
The government issued a statement promising that the reasons behind awakening the Hydrian would be clarified in the ceremonial address.
Got a signal.
Delivering the address will be Lady Luna Freya, who was previously reported dead. This will mark her first public appearance since the violence that befell the signing ceremony.
Lady Luna Freya's gonna give a speech?
Sounds like it.
Lord knows. This world could use some wisdom.
Won't be much longer now, Noct.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're making the final entry into Altissia. So we just had a wrap-up of a bunch of the story's events up to this point, and they also discovered that Luna is about to give a speech in Altissia. That's part of the reason why I read the 1 Samuel passage earlier, because that speech is going to mirror a lot of what 1 Samuel chapter 11 says. Also, look at this magnificent city, right? Absolutely incredible looking.
Does this vessel have an entry permit?
Entry permit?
Relax. I got one.
Thanks, Sid.
Here.
That's as old as they get. Seems in order. You may pass.
Thanks, dude.
Prepared in advance?
Could say that. 30-odd years ago.
That's what the guy meant by old.
Lucky us, huh?
That could have ended badly.
It's pretty cool. I love this city so much. It's so nice. So cool looking. Alright, let's park the boat, Sid. Let's go exploring. Ooh, big old city.
Phew! Finally back on land.
Barely. They call it the walls of water, but it ain't just the walls. It's the whole damn city.
Which is why we can't traverse the town by conventional means. We'll need to rely on gondolas instead.
Gondolas.
Yay! More boats.
Hey, not catch.
Oh,
Key to the boat. What? Don't you want to go sailing again?
Are you sure?
Why not? Old girl ought to be sturdy enough. Not even an awful driver like Reggie could sink her.
So, the ability to
king
drive the
can't
boat
rule
was
with
added
wisdom
in
alone.
later patches
He
of this
needs
game. There's kind of
perspective.
like an open world
So
with
get
the
out there
boat.
and see the world, you hear?
A lot of fishing. Thanks, guys. You're not able to go sailing at this time, but later we can. Alright, let's get it going.
what's next?
Well-
Immigration?
What do you mean? There's still more?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is the purpose of your visit?
Ignis.
Ignis, a little help?
Utterly hopeless. We are scholars of the culinary arts, and we've come to study the renowned cuisine of your fair nation.
Ignis on it with
Is
the
that
lies.
so? I wish you an enlightening stay.
Another one you owe me.
I need to incorporate VR fishing into the class. Okay, Sid, let us
You
go.
want to check Wescom's place out?
I do.
Yeah, let's all go to Mago.
Perhaps we'll even make it in time for tea.
And we'd better start looking now.
Okay, so
Bet the view's even better from a gondola.
like I said, this
It's
place
a photographer's dream.
very reminiscent
What a
of like
city.
Venice, with the gondolas.
They're extending the exhibit for Lady Lunafreya's wedding dress.
The Vivian Westwood? But wasn't that a memorial for her passing?
Well, now it's a memorial for her safe return. Let's go see it while we still can.
Oh, could that be the dress we read about in the papers?
Doubtless. The designer's name is the same.
Want to check it out?
That depends on the groom. Might still be a sore spot. What with his wedding getting called off?
Who says we can't call it back on? It can still happen.
True enough. Let's keep an eye out for it.
All right, let's go see the dress. Ah, got some street musicians. Let's hop up here. Isn't this place cool looking? It would be bad luck for not to see the dress. Well, the wedding's called off right now, so why not?
Designer Vivian Westwood is saying yes to the dress once
They're
again.
big into the
In
dress.
celebration of Lady Lunafreya's return, the boutique will maintain its exhibition of her bridal gown. Originally, the shop displayed the dress in memory of the signing ceremony tragedy at the Citadel. However, the exhibit has been extended indefinitely thanks to unprecedented worldwide popular demand. Devotees gathering from far and wide.
We love a good dress.
It's your vacation.
Ah, we're good. To the gondola.
See that over there?
Gondola! Here for a ride?
Let's see. Where do we need to go? I think the Palsino Street station. We'll go there. The bad ending path. Oh man. Just dudes riding in a romantic gondola. Backstreet Boys, also Prompto lounging like he is a Roman citizen over here. people on the side saying, let's head back to the room. Okay. Again, this is a pretty neat place, I'd say.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure.
I would love to be a voice actor, like in a side cafe or something. That'd be so fun. Doesn't it, Senorita? Alright, let's see. Let's hop up here real quick. Where is the dress that we are saying yes to? I think it's somewhere up here.
Excuse me, could you point us to the shop with Lady Lunafreya's dress?
Yes, please.
Just follow this road towards the Secretary's estate. Then brace yourself for the insane crowds.
Oh, well, I guess that's to be expected. Thank you.
Y'all.
She's a big deal.
Big? Think you mean huge?
You truly get the sense.
Okay, everybody. We're gonna go see this dress. Oh yeah, he had absolutely no...
Staring at the church and looking all sad. Can you blame him? His sister was supposed to get married there. But he knew what was going to happen that day. He could have at least warned her.
Oh, they're talking about Ravis.
But couldn't. Must be eating him up inside.
Oh yeah, what if? Say yes to the dress. Also, gelato.
Flavor of the day is?
Gelato.
Oh, the dress is so beautiful. I want mine to be like
Because
that.
Senorita...
And it shall be, my love, as surely as I am your Prince Noctis.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like the prince has a following as well.
Not bad. For
Senorita, he's going to see the dress because everyone is seeing the dress. It's a memorial to her death and her resurrection life. Because she once was dead, but she's not dead anymore.
One hell of a crowd.
There it is.
And that's the dress. My word.
Everyone looks so happy. And it's all because of this one dress.
Yeah.
Real glad for you that Lady Lunafreya is safe and sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that settles it. You gotta make it happen. Become a symbol of the peace.
Mm.
After we tie up all the loose ends, let's think about the ceremony.
A fine idea.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
Aww. That's sweet.
How about the cafe in the brochure?
No, we're not. Yeah. I am your Prince Noctis. The absolute best pickup line ever, right? Oh, maybe we go down this way. Prompto, get out of the way, bud. Alright, let's check out that restaurant that Sid was telling us about. Magoo. Down we go.
Anything happen while I was gone?
Yeah. The car got roomier.
Smart ass.
Yeah. Okay, listen, dude. Take us...
So, care to take a cruise?
Absolutely, I do. To the Mago. Become a symbol. He's a symbol of the peace, Fitz. Symbol of the peace. I mean, it's got to be weird to have a memorial set up for you because everyone thought you were dead, and then for them to just keep it up when it's found that you're alive, right?
What would you like?
La 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 la.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
You got it, gondolier. Gondola. Mercado sul Aqua.
Welcome to Accordo, lads. Sid mentioned you'd be dropping in.
Wescom.
Wescom Armor, as you've gathered. My word, you've grown, little prince.
That's what time does.
But of course. You were only a babe at the time.
What should I buy?
What should I buy?
So this is your maiden visit. Enjoying it so far? You doubtless have many questions, so ask away.
All right, folks,
This
get ready
country
for
is
some
a part of
exposition
the
dump.
Empire, isn't it?
Oh, you're wary. I understand. But there's no need to jump at every shadow. Just be aware that the terms of our independence grant the Empire free reign to come and go as they please.
We'll bear that in mind.
It's admittedly a one-sided arrangement. Most everything we do requires Niflheim's permission. And they wouldn't knowingly permit the Oracle to appear before the public. How our government spun that is quite a mystery.
Well, let's ask about the Empire.
So you see lots of Nifs around here?
We do, sometimes even at my place. Theirs is a familiar presence, and the citizens don't think much of it. Though the High Commander did cause a stir when he showed up the other day.
Ravis.
So soon after they felled the Archean and Lucis, his arrival fuels rumors that they will next come to ALTISSIA. The Empire's not content ruling all the land. They want the heavens as well.
First of all, Wescombe, I took down the Archean, not the Empire. Let's ask about the Oracle, Luna.
You really think Luna will make an address?
If every recent radio broadcast is to be trusted, absolutely.
Where is Lady Lunafreya?
In our hearts.
In the city somewhere. But no one has caught so much as a glimpse of her. The media has been conspicuous in its silence on the matter, which speaks volumes of government intervention. That certainly explained the rumors of disgruntled Imperial officers leaving the city.
All right, and finally, let's ask about Leviathan.
Has anything changed with Leviathan?
For now, it's business as usual at port. But word is the government will soon open the altar of the Tide Mother.
In preparation for the rite.
Ah, but on the other hand, they're scrambling to stockpile emergency provisions. This begs the question, if they're anticipating that the Hydrian will wreak havoc, why would they allow the rite to proceed? Well, if you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Okay, this bears a quick conversation here because it gets a little bit confusing. So Leviathan, one of the 6 astral gods, is asleep underneath the city of ALTISSIA. So Rama was asleep on an island just offshore the mainland of Lucis, and Titan was slumbering underneath the meteor that he caught. Luna went to each of these, awoke them, and convinced them to test Noctis in their various ways. And the presumption is that Luna has come to ALTISSIA not merely because that's where she and Noctis are supposed to meet up, but because Leviathan is here, and Leviathan is the next part of Noctis's ascension story. So she's here to make the rite. However, because ALTISSIA is both under imperial command or jurisdiction, but also kind of a sovereign city-state, there's a lot of cooperation going on here between the Empire, between ALTISSIA, and their allowance of Luna to be here. All of that is a weird political sort of thing going on. But for some reason, the Empire is allowing it. The secretary of ALTISSIA, who we'll meet in a second, is allowing it. And yeah, so that's where we are. Just to recap what was just said.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh, my dear Camellia, it's been a while.
I heard about your distinguished guests.
Ah, you've an ear for gossip.
One of my students one time called her Hillary in class, and I always forget her real name now, so here's Hillary.
Gentlemen, I won't waste your time. My name is Camellia Claustra.
Camellia Claustra.
First Secretary of the Accordo Protectorate.
You should know, we have Lady Lunafreya in our care. And the Empire demands we surrender her.
What?
Yet I am loath to acquiesce unless we stand to profit. Hence I've come to discuss terms with the King of Lucis. If you've a mind to talk, come to my estate.
So this is a big deal. This is Noctis' first foray into kingship ship because she's going to be negotiating as a king. Kind of cool.
But I assure you, her heart is in the right place.
Thanks, Wescom.
Okay.
At any rate, you must be weary from your journey. Might I suggest you seek your beds for now and ponder matters anew in the morning?
Yeah, I think we'll do just that.
We will. To bed.
So, someone caught the secretary at Mago again.
She and the barkeep sure are friendly.
What does that mean? She and the barkeep sure are friendly. Alright. Nighttime gondola ride with the boys. Gotta say, for a Final Fantasy game, these boys are having the most extravagant vacation. Like, I want to go on a road trip like this. This, like, hey, could I stop and shop there? Yeah, I guess so. Weird. They've seen volcanoes, they've been to caves and tombs, gotten selfies with animals. Now they're taking this river cruise. How cool is that? That's what we should do, folks. Go on a Prof Noctis Final Fantasy 15 real life road trip experience. We'll rent out like a bus, go cross country. How fun would that be? We'll camp out the whole time. We'll just have a bunch of Coleman camping gear. Travel the whole world. Take a really long boat ride where we talk about nothing in particular and also everything that's happened in our lives up to that point. That'd be perfect. Sponsored content. Buy some Phoenix Downs in a gondola. Oh, man. The campus ministry that I have led used to have a phoenix as its logo, but due to some different issues, we had to change up the logo. But recently somebody made a joke that a good album name for like our next track, I guess, would be to call our album Phoenix Down. I love that. They didn't realize the Final Fantasy reference, but I think there's only one hotel in ALTISSIA, dude. So go to the LaVille. Phoenix Down. That would be a pretty cool album name, though.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. To the hotel. Oh my gosh, go. Hello. Gentiana.
Ahead lies a future uncertain, yet sure is the astral memory, wherein the king may walk.
So she's allowing us to use Umbra. Through Umbra's power, we can revisit past memories. So basically, when you pet the dog, you remember former times. From a gameplay standpoint, if you were playing the game on your own and you're in my class, from a gameplay standpoint, what this basically allows you to do is to go back to the mainland of Lucis before you move to ALTISSIA. That way you can just kind of remember the past, but also play the past in case you missed any content like old dungeons and stuff. Anyway, petting the dog allows you to return to the past. And we can now go on the open seas, and we can board the boat from Golden Key, Kaim, and ALTISSIA, which is also pretty cool. But we're not going to do that. We're going to head to the First Secretary's estate.
Well, guess we need to go talk to Camellia.
Yeah, like we have any other option.
I mean, it's like the middle of the night, but I guess we could do it.
Let us prepare before making our way.
Yeah, she can sit tight a while.
She could sit tight a while, that is true, but she's way up here, which is near... What loading dock? Palcino Street? Yeah, back to Palcino Street.
Splendid. Where are we off to?
Back to Palcino Street, my friend. Do we have to do this again? Can I skip this? Yes, I can skip it. Okay, I love the gondola ride, but also, let's get on with it, boys.
Fantastic. Call when you need a ride back.
Gondola. All right, boys, let's go. Bum, 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 bum. Oh. Hello, my good sirs. Once negotiation begins, you will be unable to return to the city. We are ready. All right, folks, here we go. Again, this is the first time that Noctis has been able to step into that role of king, so we're going to get to see him make decisions for the first time.
Thank you for coming.
In a manner befitting a king.
No sweat. First things first.
Let us express gratitude. That's cordial and kingly.
Thanks for coming to greet us in person.
It's the least I could do for a king. Wescombe didn't extend me an invitation, so I decided to extend my own. Though circumstances have changed, both the king and the oracle are finally in ALTISSIA.
You said that you have Luna in your care.
Let's doubt Luna's security.
She better be safe.
She is, but whether she remains so depends wholly upon you.
Noctis,
Now,
maybe not
let
the
me ask
angry
some
teeth
questions of
face.
my own. Why does the oracle seek to awaken the Hydrian?
Well, we will be truthful.
She wants to forge a covenant so I can receive Leviathan's blessing.
The answer I wanted to hear. And yet, king or not, it can't be a simple affair for you to receive a god's blessing.
Well, for Rama it was. Titan was a bit
Let
more
me be
complicated.
frank. The potential chaos worries me. You know better than most what took place in Lucis with Archean. Tell me, what happened?
A little this, a little that. I mean, we'll tell her the truth again.
I met Titan, and he gave me his power.
Just like the legends, though the Empire doesn't like the way the story goes. Even as we speak, they mobilize their forces. It seems there's no avoiding chaos. It will most likely come to war. However, I don't care to host a battle on my soil. The gods and the Empire be damned.
Truth will set you free. We will allude to a common enemy. Yes.
I don't suppose you'd cry over the Empire's losses?
An intriguing suggestion.
Let's cut to the chase. She needs help defeating the Empire. Yeah, cut to the chase.
Seems to me you want a proxy to fight the Empire.
Very sharp, Your Majesty. But before we go into that, there is one matter I'd like to settle. Without further ado, let us talk terms. If you wish to hold the right, you must ensure my citizens' safety and aid in their evacuation.
Let's suggest some further measures.
That's fine, but what about damage to the city?
Your concern is appreciated, but I am prepared to accept some structural damage. Keeping the citizens safe is my chief concern, and therefore yours.
Okay.
And that is not all. Once the rite has begun, I will not be accountable for what follows. You are on your own.
Well, I was with Titan too, so we're gonna act confident. She is missing the
Problem.
pantsuit.
We know how to take care of ourselves.
Thank you. I'm sorry we cannot do more, but as I'm sure you are aware, few armies can stand against the might of the Imperial fleet.
Fair.
That is all for the terms. To review, you are to ensure our citizens' safety and engage the Empire. Do we have an agreement?
Mm-hmm. We will agree amicably. It's a fine deal, I suppose.
All right. Let's fight together as allies.
I mean, we don't really have a nation to
Allies.
protect anymore, so...
Such a vote of confidence. Well, you can trust us to do our part and keep the Oracle safe. A final warning, though I doubt it'll come to it. My duty is to my citizens. Should any harm befall them, there will be a reckoning for both King and Oracle.
Well, I will return the threat.
There'll be a reckoning for you, too.
A leader must know when to bring out the steel. Surely you understand this.
I was born with the steel.
There won't be any casualties.
Ooh.
Again, you intrigue me. You and your father are cut from different cloths. I wonder what manner of king you'll make.
Madam, it's time.
I mean, we
Assign
said we're going to
3
try
of
to
your own
protect
for
her
the evacuation
citizens,
effort. Whom you choose is up to you.
Well, the good news is
According
I have
to
3
our
friends.
intel, the Imperial fleet will be 4 warships strong.
Steel yourselves.
for a full-scale battle. I'm glad we could talk. We can each act in our own interest to our mutual benefit.
Noctis won the first secretary's unreserved trust. I just see Noctis won. Because negotiation, much like love, is war.
I can't promise something I can't help.
Of course. You certainly opened up to them, though.
What can I say? I have a soft spot for the young and tragic.
Hillary.
They've lost Regis. They've lost the crystal. Was it so long ago the last oracle was taken from them? We've seen the Empire go mad these 10-odd years.
All right, here we go, folks. The day of the right. A gondola ride again.
During the rite, we must see to it the Empire does not harass Leviathan.
Gonna be tough to pull off before the king receives her power.
And with 3 of us on evacuation detail.
Indeed, the best we can realistically do is to help the Hydrian help herself.
What kind of help you talking about?
Just like Titan, the Empire will seek to immobilize Leviathan.
Ah, with the harpoon things?
If we can dislodge them from the goddess, she will have a fighting chance.
Sounds good in theory, but don't push it. It's pointless.
Yeah, it's
unless
cool,
you
isn't
can
it?
get that blessing.
Stay flexible, stay alert.
All right, will do.
All right, everybody understand what we're doing? Luna's going to secure the right, the Covenant for Noctis, while Noctis, Ignis, Prompto, and Gladio are going to try to protect the city, because they're assuming that Leviathan is going to be angry, much like Titan was. Rama is a bit more of a peaceful god, peaceful deity than the...
If worse comes to worse, you can threaten to throw the trident into the sea. Then they'll listen. In the meantime, it will be well guarded. Better than the Oracle herself.
Understood. I shall reclaim it at the altar.
Remember, you'll be under Imperial watch.
Right.
Think of it as a necessary evil in order to forge the Covenant.
I am in your debt.
Once it's over, you may go as you please, but you do so without our protection.
So be it.
You'd better get going. Your public is waiting for you.
Luna, that's our prophet.
Noct, you in position?
Yep.
Don't forget the plan.
You guys too?
Of course.
All right, real quick, everybody, just as a reminder, this is the part that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream.
Like the whole city's come to watch.
Prophets oftentimes gave speeches that had 3 different parts. Those parts begin with an assessment of the current reality and situation. Okay, most prophetic speeches, and this is true not only of the Old Testament, but any sort of stately speech, everything from States of the Union with in the United States with our leaders, all the way to things like SGA sort of statements. There's an assessment of the current situation or reality. Then there's a movement in prophetic speeches into what is a hope for the future or a warning of the future. It's discussion of future days. What is the future going to look like? If we begin with the past and the present, then we move into an idea of what the future is. And then finally, the prophet closes out with a call to action. Therefore, a prophet might say, therefore, go and do this. And so we're going to see that with Luna here. Excuse me, my fiance is up here. Opens with a prayer. Love that.
Dear friends, I stand before you today. With little hope the words I speak shall reach beyond these walls. For slowly but surely the light fades from our world, and as it does, the shadows shall loom ever longer until all succumbs to the darkness. Darkness that evokes terror, hatred, and sorrow in the hearts of men. The ashes of Lucis. A dream of peace, twisted into a nightmare of death and destruction, claiming innumerable lives and leaving myriad souls to suffer.
Luna.
Yet I beg you, do not surrender to despair. Have faith, for our gods watch over us. By their blessings, by the stars that light the heavens above, our world will be delivered from the perils of the dark. I stand before you here in ALTISSIA to call upon Leviathan, goddess of the seas, spirit of the deep. By the sacred rite, I will commune with the Hydrian. But first, I offer you my solemn vow. On my honor as Oracle, I will not rest until the darkness is banished from our world and the light is restored.
All right, everybody, this is a great scene because, you know, it does model that same prophetic speech that we talk about in class. Were you able to notice the three compartments, the three categories of her prophetic speech? The assessment of the current reality, alluding to the fall of Lucis and darkness enshrouding the world, and how it seems that darkness and the demons and the empire are encroaching. And then talking about moving from that into this idea that the future can be better. Take heart, be of good hope. Don't lose faith. Continue to be courageous because the light will come and there will be a dawn, a better day coming. So she's giving hope for the future, even in the midst of this warning of darkness. And then finally, she closes out with a call to action. For the people, it is be people of hope. But her call to action is one for herself. She says, as the oracle, she will do what is necessary so that that day will come. It's her job as oracle. And you remember that the job of a prophet is threefold. You probably remember those from one of our prior streams and certainly from class if you're one of my students. Number one, the job of the prophet is to legitimize the king's appointment. That is, the prophet anoints the king as the king. So Samuel did this with Saul. Samuel did this with David. You see it with various prophets, especially when the bloodline changes in kings. A prophet will anoint the new bloodline of kings. We see this continually throughout the Old Testament and throughout the ancient Near Eastern and Mediterranean, Mesopotamian societies. The second thing that a prophet does is it discerns the will of God. And by discerning the will of God, the prophet has some divine knowledge, which leads to the third piece, which is the prophet serves as the king's conscience and spiritual counsel. This is different from the strategist. This is a spiritual strategizing that a prophet will do. And so Luna is taking on all of that. She's even invoking the prophetic speech here as well. So with that, Luna is now going to intercede and discern the will of the gods regarding Noctis as she creates a covenant. To use the passage from Isaiah, she is preparing the way for the Lord, or preparing the way for the king. All right, let's continue. There are two kinds of quests.
Knocked. The Empire's here.
I can see him.
Dropships are closing in on the board. Look for a vantage point to approach them.
Okay, look after the citizens.
We got them covered.
So, it begins.
So it begins.
It is I, Lunafreya, blood of the oracle. Goddess of the seas, I beseech you, enter into this covenant that the king might reclaim the stone.
Wretched pile of bone and flesh, ignorant of that which governs all,
I do.
comes to requisition the blessing.
Civilians?
Almost there. We'll join you when we're done. The Empire has the Hydran surrounded. Hurry, Knocked.
All right,
I'm
while
on it.
Luna is interceding,
Most likely.
we're going to make our way to her. Gyarados, nice. Here's Leviathan. What does the lowly, ephemeral speck know of all creation?
I know what you must know. That the King of Kings is to drive the darkness from our star.
All right, let's stop there for just a second. This is such a huge moment because I want to make sure that we've really got this. Leviathan here is having this conversation with Luna, and she is very much angry, saying, you know, regardless of what you are saying to me, Luna, humanity is not worth it. Humanity is lowly and ephemeral specks. Here today, gone tomorrow. They're not worth it. And Luna is saying, I know what you must know, Leviathan. You know that Noctis is worthy. She's arguing with Leviathan. And this is such a really interesting piece, especially in the background of the Old Testament book of Exodus. There's this great time where Moses is speaking with God, and God is angry and wants to destroy all of Israel, all of the Israelites. They've been in the wilderness for, you know, a long time, many years, and they've devoted themselves to a golden calf and all this kind of stuff. And God says, I'm going to wipe them out, Moses, and I'm going to start anew with you. And Moses says to God, it's such a strange thing. Moses says to God, if you did that, then why did you bring them out in the first place? And Moses appeals to God, basically saying, you made these people. You brought them out. They are your people. Remember your covenant with them. And Luna is arguing with Leviathan in that same way. It's such an interesting piece. You can read that story for yourself in Exodus chapter 32, 33, and 34. This argumentative nature between Moses and God. And eventually, God relents and says, okay, Moses, you've got it. I will spare them. And that has a lot to say about Jewish and Christian perspectives on prayer and how prayer affects the divine. It also says a lot about the audacity of prophets and intercessors that are going to go to God. So we see that with Luna, and Leviathan is not taking too kindly to Luna. Let's check it out. Blasphemous ingrates, quick to forget the ages, their goddess stood watch.
It is in receiving mercy that men offer praise, and in shedding grace that the gods solicit worship.
Prophet using the name of God. That's
the
used.
king will prove himself worthy.
What about you guys?
We'll wait below. There's only room for two. Noct, jump!
What?
No time for questions!
This scene conjures up not only scenes like I've mentioned with Moses, but it also conjures up scenes of the flood and things like that, ways that God is represented in the Old Testament. Here's our boy Prompto.
What's this?
New ride we borrowed from the Nifs. This will get us in close.
Serious?
Here she comes!
I got this.
Then it's up to you.
All right. Won't be long.
Dang.
Hey, nice job finding this baby.
The moment I saw her, I knew we'd go places. Not again.
Not making this easy.
Not. Hold on tight.
What? I did that perfectly.
Can you reach?
Yes, sir. Give me your power. We're gonna demand the power.
Hey, your power! Give it up!
Give it up. We will maintain a commanding tone.
Don't you understand? I'm the king!
Fine, we'll accept a reasonable tone.
I need your power!
Gotta have respect. Oof. Ow. Alright, Noct, let's go. Time to defeat Leviathan.
So the only way you'll help me is if I take you down?
Alright, Leviathan, where you at? Man. Where are you? There you are. We're fighting.
Now, about that ring. On second thought, you let him have it. And do remind him about the crystal.
Oh, Prince, your bride awaits.
I will pass the ring to the rightful king.
Big moment here. Notice this.
When the prophecy is fulfilled, all enthralled to darkness shall know peace.
How sweet. But please, Lady Lunafreya. You first.
This is her legitimizing Noctis as king, fulfilling that role as the prophet. So again, here's our song, Apocalypsis Noctis, the revelation of Noctis. Now we're flying around, Power of Kings. Tearing off the wings. There we go. Let's go, Noctis. Come on. With the trident. Pretty dope fight. Yeah, my offense was A+. Faux show. All right.
It's done.
Blessed stars of life and light.
Notice she's healing him. So Titan comes to protect Noctis from Leviathan. Now this.
Noctis?
Luna?
So, you found your way here.
And you found me.
A chance to see you once more. Who would have thought?
What do you mean? Why wouldn't you see me?
Because my prayers have been answered. My calling fulfilled.
But that doesn't have to come between us.
You are the one, Noctis. The stars shine for you now. That which is yours by right shall be restored to you. Do you remember the flowers of Tenebrae? It seems so long ago. You'll find they await you still, looming from hill to vale. Will you be there?
Would that I could join you. But this moment will have to be enough.
It's not right. All I wanted was to save you.
When the world falls down around you and hope is lost. When you find yourself alone amid a lightless place. Look to the distance. Know that I am there. And that I watch over you always. Farewell, dear Noctis.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Back with us. I'll tell the others. Though it may take a bit.
You're hurt.
Ah, small sacrifice in the greater battle.
And Luna?
She has passed. Umbra left that for you.
Yeah, poor Ignis. Whoo boy. Folks, that is the end of that chapter. Chapter 9. What are your thoughts? Those of you that this is your first time playing or watching, what's your responses? Lots happened. Lots happened. So just a bit of a recap for what happened. Lots of sobs and stuff. We'll look at some pictures while we talk. So yeah, Luna died, stabbed by Arden, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with that particular thing. Yeah, Jamie never should have seen that dress. Bad luck all around. There's a few things that I want to lift up from this. Luna is the prophet to Noctis. She's the oracle, and her job was to legitimize the king, to discern God, the will of the gods, or the will of the Lord, and to serve as the king's conscience and counsel. And the last thing that she did at the altar after creating the covenant with Leviathan, allowing, convincing Leviathan to do it, fits in the dress. But the last thing that she does after being stabbed is she takes the trident and she summons and musters the legitimacy of the king's past. Now, remember what we had been tasked with while we were on the mainland. Go to all of the tombs around Lucis and receive the blessing of the kings. And Luna uses that as kind of proof to the kings to legitimize Noctis's appointment as king, and that's what she does, and that's that image of light going up from the tombs and into Noctis. And once that happens, the song Revelation or Apocalypsis Noctis plays, and you get to see Noctis in his full power, his power as the chosen king, where he's able to hurl thousands of swords and glaives at Leviathan and fly around, and it really is just this hyperbole of what Noctis can do as king. Now, so that's a really important point. Leviathan herself, though, I want to talk about that for a moment. So we've gone through two trials up to this point: the trial of Titan and the trial of Rama. And here we have a trial of Leviathan, which seems to be pretty reminiscent of the trial of Titan. However, there's one difference, and it's the tone of this battle. With Titan has a respect and a reverence for Noctis. Remember, Titan addresses Noctis as Son of Man. Son of Man, this regal sort of kingly designation that's certainly found in the Old Testament. Son of Man essentially is another phrase for Messiah, or one that is going to be this powerful one, Son of Man. And you see this in prophetic books like Daniel and things like that. And so Titan has a reverence for Noctis and is testing his strength. But with each one of these astral gods, we see a divine attribute at play. In my class, we talk about 6 divine attributes. There's creation, or creational intention. That is God's desire to uphold creation, God's desire to restore creation back to the original way of things. We see that God also has this provision, the idea that God is going to provide for God's people. We see that God exhibits regret and sorrow, sadness. Two key accounts is when God says over King Saul, "I regret the day that I made Saul king," because Saul had turned away from God's ways. We also see it in the story of Noah. Do you remember how it begins? God looks on humanity, and it says that God regretted making humanity in the first place. And so what did God do? God sent a flood, and the flood was to purge the world of everyone and all wickedness except for Noah. So that was one of those, one of those big moments of, what is the, you could say that it was, wrath in some ways, but you could also say that it was, I think, this, I think that it's driven differently than wrath or anger. It's driven into regret and lament. Okay, so those are the first 3. Then we've got wrath, of course. There's anger. You see a God of wrath throughout the Old Testament at times. And then you also see that there is a God of compassion, a God of mercy. and then finally a God of justice. And so the 6 attributes that we discuss in my class are creation, creational intent, provision, sorrow or regret. We have wrath, compassion, and we have ultimately justice. And those 6 attributes all come together to form the Godhead, I suppose, the attributes, the personalities of God. I think there are, Fitz, to answer your question, I do think that there are other aspects that are essential beyond those 6, but I think that these 6 can encompass all of them. One that was brought up to me one time was the idea of holiness. Holiness is an attribute of God, but I think that God's holiness actually acts in all of the attributes. So God's holiness or otherness is the way in which those attributes are applied. So it is a holy wrath, it is a holy regret, a holy creation, a holy provision, a holy justice. There's holiness to all of it, a holy sorrow and sadness even. And I think that those are important things to remember in all of this as well. So with this, one of the things that we've been doing in my class, for those of you that aren't in it, or for a refresher for some of you, by receiving the blessing of these gods, presumably there is a divine blessing or attribute that Noctis is attaining as king. Because ultimately, when you are delivering order to chaos, as you know, God brings order to chaos in the world according to the Old Testament, we are to do that. Humanity is to do that. Those bearing God's image are to bring order to chaos using the attributes of God. So it is humanity bringing things back to a creational intention, bring things back to the way God intended, bring provision to those who have need, have a sorrow or an empathy for those situations in the world that are wrong, have a sense of holy divine wrath as needed, have compassion as needed, and ultimately do justice in the world as needed. So, like I said, one of the things that we do in my class is we try to connect attributes of God with these divine, these deities in Final Fantasy 15. Titan is protecting the earth from this meteor. Essentially, it's a protection for creation. So Titan kind of embodies what it means to have a preservation of creation, even creating, you know, the mountains and things like that, and some of the lore of Titan as well. With Rama, remember the test of Rama was to go and forage in the world. And then when you go and you fight the Naga, it's actually a woman who had lost her baby, who had become this Naga, this serpent-like being. And Noctis has to make a difficult decision, realizing that there are situations that he can't provide for. The test of Rama is the test of provision. And Noctis proves himself, having to forage in the land and then ultimately face this difficult decision. With Leviathan, it's a little bit more difficult, because you could probably attribute to Leviathan wrath. But remember the conversation that Leviathan had with Luna. Leviathan says, humans are nothing, ephemeral specks that speak nothing but blasphemies. And Luna responds, not saying anything, to refute that, but essentially saying, you know what humanity is made of. You know what Noctis is. And it seems as though Leviathan does know. Luna is reminding Leviathan that Noctis is somebody that can be believed in and counted on. Leviathan is exhibiting extraordinary regret over what humanity has become, and it's exhibited in sorrow. And so, yes, there is this struggle, but what does this trial really bring out in Noctis? It doesn't bring out his strength, it actually brings out his weakness, because in that very trial, at the hand of Arden, which we'll get into in a second, Noctis endures what? Sorrow, regret, the thing that he feared the most, the fact that he couldn't save Luna when she needed him. And there's a question of, will he ever become king? Because he's now without a prophet, and to ascend to the throne without a prophet is unheard of. So the trial of Leviathan is the trial of sorrow. It's hard to have sorrow and empathy for the world around you when you've never tasted sorrow. Remember, Noctis has been the sheltered king his whole life. And now the battle has entered him. The suffering and the tragedy of the world around him has faced him, hit close to home. So we're going to continue with Noctis' ascension story as we continue to address gods and kings and all the other. One final thing that I want to mention with the Luna piece, with Luna's death, that scene with Arden is so important because, and I encourage you to go back on YouTube and watch some of this. When Luna and Arden are having that conversation, he begins by saying, now about that ring. And so it makes you think that Arden wants the ring. But then he says, on second thought, you give it to him. What is Arden's game? He wants Noctis to have the ring. He's opened the doors time and time again for Noctis to move forward in his journey, to make it to the next god or to get the regalia again. All of these things, he's prepared the way in a lot of ways for Noctis. And here, instead of taking the ring for himself, he says to Luna, no, you give it to him. And then he stabs her, takes out a dagger and stabs her. And she immediately is hunched over, and he leans down and kind of cups her face. And what she does is she says, I will give the ring to the rightful king. And then she grabs his hands. And did you notice the glow around her hands? It's the same glow that we see every time she heals someone. She even later does it to Noctis. And so it's almost as though she is starting to heal Arden. And then she says to him, those in the thrall of darkness shall know peace. Then all those who walk in darkness, in the thrall of darkness, shall know peace. And as there is this healing moment, what does Arden do? For a moment he contemplates it, and then he backhands her. And he says, no, you first, Lady Lunafreya, which essentially is, no, you will know peace long before I do, because you are going to rest in peace. Right now you're going to die. And then he calls to Noctis, making sure that Noctis sees Luna's suffering. Oh, Prince, your bride awaits. Something about Arden demands, something in Arden is demanding that Noctis take note of Luna's sorrow during this trial, so that perhaps he can experience the suffering, the sorrow, the regret of the divine. And then Noctis is given the power of gods and kings, and then, you have to fight with Leviathan, and then you have this interesting cutscene with Luna and Noctis starting out as children, and then Luna becomes an adult, and then eventually Noctis, uncertain, swimming against fate, clawing his way toward Luna, he becomes an adult reluctantly as he receives the ring. The ring represents responsibility, and so that is the next stop on the journey. Luna is dead. Regis is dead. The entire kingdom of Insomnia is gone. Talcott was Jared was a casualty of the Empire, and Ignis is now injured as well, having lost his sight, as we saw at the end of chapter 9. And that's where we leave off today. Thanks so much for being with us, folks. Gives us a lot to think about. Any final closing comments from the chat before we close off for the night? This is a heavy chapter, isn't it? It's a big one. It's a big one. And to relate it back to the Old Testament, there comes a point when David is on his own. There comes a point when Samuel is no longer alive, and David has to go through life ascending the kingship, overcoming Saul, who is trying to kill him, by himself. Every king has to be left alone to some degree in order to claim responsibility for their kingdom and for those around them. And that's what we will begin to see with Noctis. But I'm going to warn you, it gets a lot worse before it gets better for Noctis. So we're going to journey into chapter 10 on Thursday. I hope that you'll join me 7 p.m. on Thursday. We will play through chapter 10, picking right up where we left off. It does remind you of Elijah and Elisha, though he wasn't a king. In what way, Senorita? How does that remind you of Elijah and Elisha? Their relationship of kind of passing on. Elijah going up and leaving Elisha behind. passing on the prophetic mantle, so to speak. Yeah, what other parallels do you see? What other things, chat? Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. Well, folks, yeah, that's a really cool parallel as well. And we're going to make more of those parallels. I'll tell you, we will begin to escalate some of the biblical stuff even as soon as the next chapter, and certainly into chapters 11 and 12, and certainly 13. 13 is the reason why I turned this into a Bible study, into a class, and all that kind of stuff. Leviathan's tone with Luna felt a bit like the separate alien holiness kind of thing. Yeah. Big tonal difference for Leviathan there, for sure. Very much a separated holiness sort of thing. This is a holy sorrow and regret that that removes Leviathan from the daily life of humanity. So, again, really good stuff. Love chapter 9 in a heartbreaking kind of way. I encourage you to hop on YouTube and rewatch some of these cutscenes. And if you're in my class, then at the end of the week in class next, we will be looking over this and dissecting it piece by piece and all that kind of stuff. Folks, thank you so much for being a part. If you haven't followed or liked the channel, I hope that you would. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to get that Prime sub and all that kind of stuff. I never dreamed that people would ever be interested in watching me play video games, much less talk about them like this. But y'all make my day, y'all make my week. So thank you so much for that. If you want to subscribe, would definitely encourage you to do so. That free Prime sub, and then certainly like and follow. Well, I typically stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the semester, and then in the summer I'll probably stream a little bit more, getting back to some other games like Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster, 7 Remake, all that stuff, and then Stranger of Paradise as well. If I ever beat Elden Ring, which doesn't seem likely, I think I'll take that game to my grave, because it just keeps going. But love it, but it's extensive. Folks, thank you so much. You just being with you tonight has been so good. I love you guys. You are the best in chat. You're the best, people to hang out with on this sort of thing. So thank you so much. If you think anybody would be interested in this stuff, I would love for you to share some of this, these VODs, videos on demand with other people. We're trying to get the word out about how cool this game is, honestly, and what it means to me, but I think some of the deep meanings that it has for anybody that experiences it. All right, chat, thank you so much. I hope that you have a fantastic night. We will see you on Thursday for chapter 10. Take it easy, and we'll see you later. Bye, folks.